You ever have one of those nights where you swear you're just a taxi driver, finishing your shift, counting your tips, dreaming about sleep when life throws you the kind of curveball you can't just swerve around? That was me, Jess Hamilton, New York born and raised, thinking nothing in this city could shock me anymore until I opened my cab door at 3 a.m. and found four little girls identical, serious, out of place, clutching each other in the back seat like lost kittens. And instead of heading to the cops like any sane person would, I just took them in. Call a hunch, call it soft-hearted stupidity, but that split-second decision spun my whole world off its axis and, wouldn't you know it, a day later my face was plastered across the news. Wanted kidnapper of billionaires' children. Yeah, that happened. It's not like my life was a cakewalk before. You know what I mean? Every New York rush hour felt like my own personal purgatory, stuck behind luxury cars. Everyone in a hurry to get nowhere. That night, with my cab making its usual death rattle, I remember snapping at some Wall Street suit honking behind me, looked at my rust bucket like it was a piece of trash, not the last gift my dad ever gave me. I wanted to scream, "Get in line, buddy, this city belongs to all of us, not just folks with gold watches." But you learn to swallow it, because what's the alternative? Joe, my ancient mechanic, kept telling me to junk the car, but I couldn't tell him why Dad's fingerprints were all over the steering wheel. You let go of that. You might as well let go of your story, you know? Across town, Brandon Carter, the billionaire's single dad, type you read about in business mags, was having his own kind of hell. For daughters, all 8 years old, quadruplets with more energy than a subway at rush hour, and a fiancée named Fiona who wanted a ring, but not the family that came with it. The girls Ashley, Arya, Abby, and Ava made it pretty clear Fiona was not their choice. Brandon kept trying to build a bridge between his past and the life he wanted, but every time his kids tore the blueprints up and set them on fire. "Can't you just try harder with Fiona?" he'd beg. They'd look away, stubborn little faces, and you could almost see his heart breaking behind the corporate smile. That afternoon, my cab sputtered out right in front of the girls' private, Scola cosmic joke, I guess. The girls, desperate to dodge Fiona, spotted my taxi like it was a getaway car, piled in, and when I turned around they were grinning, whispering bathroom emergencies and asking, "Can you help us, Miss Taxi Driver?" I took them to the gas station, helped them pick snacks with the last of my cash, and when I finally asked, "Where do you live?" all four just looked at me and said, "Can we stay with you?" There's something about a kid's honesty that melts all your logic away. I caved. Meanwhile, Brandon was losing his mind police in his living room, Fiona moaning about having kids of her own. No clue his daughters were scarfing peanut butter crackers in my tiny apartment, giggling like it was a slumber party. When Ashley finally explained why they ran, "Dad's marrying someone who hates us. We just wanted a mom who loves us," I nearly cried right there. I'm not proud to say it, but for a second, I wanted to keep them. For the first time since my parents passed, my apartment didn't feel so empty. Of course, life doesn't hand out fairy tales. Next morning, I tried to do the right thing, drive them home, but just as we turned the corner, half a dozen squad cars boxed us in. The suit from the day before the one who threatened to tow my cab turned out to be Brandon Carter. And let me tell you, he was ready to breathe fire. "Give me back my kids," he yelled, finger in my face. Before I could explain, Fiona swooped in, shrieking for the cops to arrest me. But those girls, me little partners in crime, rushed to my defense, telling everyone, "Miss Jess didn't kidnap us. We want to stay with her." That moment changed everything. The police let me go, the girls hugged me, and Brandon saw Minute as a screw-up cabbie, but as the one person his kids actually trusted. A few hours later, after Fiona stomped off in a huff, Brandon knocked on my door, sheepish, apologizing for being a jerk, and get this, offered me a job. "Be their driver," he said. "Drive them to school. Be there when they need you. My daughters like you, and so do I." I couldn't help but laugh after everything. Maybe life had a sense of humor after all. So there I was, Jess Hamilton, official school-run chauffeur to New York's richest quadruplets, rolling through Manhattan in a cab held together by hope and duct tape. Fiona, of course, hated every minute, tried to muscle her way into the carpool. But the girls? They just wanted sing-alongs and snacks. And every day, I felt a little more like their mom and a little less like a stranger passing through. The twist? The girls ran away again because the grown-ups in their lives still didn't get it. They wanted to prove to their dad that love can't be forced, that family isn't about contracts or dinner reservations. When Brandon broke it off with Fiona for good, finally seeing what his daughter saw in Mayhay, rushed to find the girls, desperate. And it was me he turned to for help. Together, we found them in the place where our story began, the gas station convenience store, eating snacks, waiting for someone to understand them. That's when he took my hand right there between the vending machines and the Slurpee machine, not caring who saw, and said, "Will you stay?" Not just as their driver, but as family. And suddenly, all the loneliness, all the doubts just faded out. I nodded, couldn't even get the words out. I was crying so hard, and the girls hugged us both like we'd just brought the sun out from behind the clouds. Some mornings now, when I pull my cab up to the Carter house, the girls run out with signs that say, "Will you be our mom?" And Brandon's there with a bouquet of flowers and a ring he's so nervous he can barely hold. I look at him, then at those girls, and all I can think is how life finds a way to give you back more than it ever took. I may not have given birth to these kids, but they came from my heart, and I'll fight for them, laugh with them, and love them to the very end. So here's my question. If you've been listening this whole way, what makes a family in the end? Blood, luck, or the love you choose to show up with even when you're tired, broke, or scared? Would you have done what I did, trusted your gut, given 4 little strangers a home, even when the whole world said you were wrong? I want to hear what you think. Share your story, argue with mine, tell me. In the end, what's the real definition of family?